Nissan in-game live with Ron Jaworski. I'm Michael Barkann. Here's the good news, Jaws. Eagles up 21-20, all right? Got the good news out of the way. And in many respects, if not all respects, that's the bottom line. The other news on the other side of the coin is the ejection, the disqualification of Jalen Carter, which is one of the most stupid, outrageous things that I've ever seen by one professional athlete do to another before the ball was even snapped the first time. Thoughts on what happened and what will happen because of it?
Well, obviously he's out of the game, so that happened, and that's inexcusable. It's inhumane. You just don't do it. Plain and simple. I can't think of the words that from a negative standpoint how I really feel what a bad play that was. Not only then you get to the football aspect of it, you lose him for the entire game. He didn't play a snap because before the ball was even put in play, did a dumb thing, go spitting on an opponent. It was. You got a Thursday night football game. Number one, you shouldn't do it anyway. You got 8,000 cameras everywhere. They're all over the place. You go to the bathroom. There's a camera in the bathroom. You got to be careful what you do. But I'm making a joke there. But I mean, like you're going to get away with spitting in the quarterback's face. The quarterback, the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. You go up there and you spit in his face. I mean, come on. It's inexcusable. And our defense is not playing well. The Cowboys are running the ball fairly well against it, but that big push over the middle that you get from Jalen Carter, it just isn't there. So he hurt his football team from a playing standpoint, and I think from a morale standpoint, inexcusable.
And we will see what happens following the game. And next week, there was a report from Mike Florio, NBC, who said it depends on how Carter handles this afterward. That will determine whether he receives a suspension more than just the game tonight. But as you said, Jaws, one, inhumane. Two, you do wonder what the score would be at 21-20. You wonder what it would be if Jalen Carter was in there.
He's our run stopper. I mean, he's our plugger. He holds the interior of that defensive line, and he's gone. And it was, there was no pressure up the middle. I mean, if you love offensive football, this is a game to watch. I mean, this is phenomenal quarterbacking, great offensive play from both teams. I mean, the halftime score indicates it the way it was played, 21-20. There were no punts in the game. Just really good offensive football. But I'm glad we're ahead in this one, but our defense has been exposed a little bit, so there's some work to be done, but hey, we're ahead.
You want to play corner maybe? You could do it. I'm sure you could play
No,
corner.
I couldn't.
I'm sure you might be able to do it.
When I was young and dumb, I couldn't even play corner.
Well, don't sell yourself short, Jaws. How about we can talk about Jalen Hurts, or we can talk about Saquon Barkley, who just picked up where he left off last year, 5 yards almost, 4.9 per carry every time he touches the ball, 10 yards, 10 carries.
I'll go to the other guy. Jalen Hurts has been phenomenal. We've seen the growth of him, through his career, but now I'm seeing even a bigger step. The 2 touchdowns runs were against man-to-man coverage, and he didn't get an open receiver. He moved around the pocket, knowing that once he breaks the pocket, there's no one accounting for him. He scores 2 touchdowns. It just sees the natural growth of Jalen Hurts. He read the man coverage. No one broke open. He knew if he broke the pocket, there's no one there to take him down, and it's exactly what happened. So the growth of Jalen Hurts, it's better and better every single year.
Yeah, and we heard Chris Collinsworth say, I'm sure you agree, that he seems even more calm than he was last year. And you could see how the game has slowed down for him. And we talk about that as an athlete progresses through his career, but he just seemed completely in control. Passer rating of 101.9.
And it's just the way he plays the game now. There is that calmness about him, the control of what he wants to do. There's no panic in his movement. There's no panic in the huddle. Kevin Patullo, I thought, he called a really good first half of plays in that game, which is his first time, calling plays. I thought he did an outstanding job. The offensive line was very good. Probably the only negative, right? A.J. Brown is not going to ball, so that's about the negative. If you want to look for a negative, that's that's probably the one part we could talk about. But Jalen Hurts playing phenomenal. Saquon Barkley, the offensive line. Dallas Goedert did a really good job early in the game, getting those 4 and 5 yard plays when no one else was open. So good first half for the Eagles offense. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns.
All right, let's get to the Eagles defense without Jalen Carter, and they got to play this game, obviously, and they're on top, the Eagles. When you look at what they are trying to do and their inability to defend the pass effectively, and no run stopper there because of Carter's absence.
Yep.
What can they do coming up in the second half to try to be effective?
Well, Vic Fangio's gonna have to change things up a little bit, but you can't change the players. You got to put your same guys out there that got beat pretty bad in that first half, and he can change the scheme. He blitzed a couple times to no avail. But when you got a guy like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, you got guys that are world-class football players. Their offensive line has been okay. The Cowboys' offensive line has been okay. Dak has done a hell of a job of escaping some possible sacks, potential sacks, getting outside the pocket. But that's what he can do. He's an all-pro quarterback. If he doesn't get the ball out in time, he's got the ability, like Jalen Hurts, to extend the play and allow someone to get open. But this is a very good offensive team, as you can see so far tonight. And Dallas their offensive line is a little inconsistent, but I think the way the quarterback's playing, they're going to hang around for the second half of this game.
That's what worries me. You look at a 21-20 Eagles lead now. What happens in the second half? You think about the loss of Jalen Carter, and I know if you're Nick Sirianni, that's the way it goes. Forget about it. He's not here. Nothing we can do. But still, we're observing this thing and wondering how they can shore that up, and you can't change the players. So this is going to be.
I think we understood going into this game. There's been a change on the defensive side of the football from last year. We lost, 5 good players that aren't starting right now, are not even in a Philadelphia uniform anymore. So there's going to be that kind of attrition impacts how you play and what you do. And some of the young guys are, they're young guys. But sooner or later, going to step up. But they're young guys. It's their first game. The bright lights are on them. So I'm trying to watch the corner, trying to watch the linebackers, and we have some rookies playing. But Adoree Jack he has to play better. He's a veteran football player, and it looks like to me that they're gonna have to make a change. You have to make a change. He's not making the coverage moves that he has to make, and he's getting beat. But you got to say the whole secondary. Even Quinion's gotten beaten a few times already. So the secondary has not been good.
How about the officiating? We've got 7 Eagles penalties for 93 yards, just 2 for Dallas for 22 yards.
Yeah,
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but I really don't recollect anything flagrant where there was a mistake made. I thought
the PI at the end looked like it was kind of patty cake. I don't know what you thought, but that helped them move the ball up to eventually get the field goal.
It was patty cake, but sometimes you get the call. It's how the officials call them. So I'm not disagreeing with that. In fact, I agree. But sometimes you get the call, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, sometimes it happens in the Super Bowl at the end of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, it's BS. Yeah. I can spell it out, but I like talking to you.
You're allowed to say that. You own that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, I don't. All right, my friend. Reminder, everybody, when the clock hits 0, we are back with Barrett Brooks, Ron Jaworski, Jason Avant, and Ruben Frank, all breaking down this, what we hope is
we need a big desk.
We need it. We're going to have a big desk. We call it the aircraft carrier. I mean, you can land planes on it. That is Nissan in game live. Thanks for watching.